I've worked in the fashion industry for the past 25 years, and one of the things that I loved was helping my clients pick out clothing that expressed the real them. Secondly, I love sustainability. The location that we're going to today is a gem known for fashion and sustainability. Welcome to Neighborhood Favorites. My name is George Worrell and I am your host. Today we're at Doggy Style Bakery and Pet Spa with my co-host Moses. I'm excited to take you inside a special place in my heart. As someone who's been clean and sober for 29 years and enjoying life fully and freely doesn't have to include alcohol. Today, we're in the vibrant heart of Anacostia, exploring a unique business shaping the community. Let's step into Anacostia Organics, one of the first medical cannabis dispensaries east of the river. We'll meet Linda Green, her team, and hear how they're impacting lives right here in DC. How do you like being here, and what was your thoughts about opening here in Anacostia, and putting all this vision, all of this together? How was that, Linda?
Well, I have lived in every ward in the city but 5 and 7, and I've had homes there, but I ended up buying a house over here in 2000, January 2nd, 2000. I went to the settlement, and fell in love with the community, just truly fell in love with the community, and got really active in it and everything. And as you know, I was in public relations. Yeah. But a few years later, I suppose, well, several years later, I had lived here long enough to see what the neighborhood did not have, amenity-wise and all of that.
Can I get a room? Because I'm gonna be, I eat and I like to take a nap. This is amazing. This
Thank
is great.
you. Thank you.
So how are you able to, say, manage, with 7 years clean and sober, and just run a business, and be responsible for payroll and be responsible for paying bills, and how do you handle that? Because with this show, and we want to show how it is to actually run a business. We see all the glamour, we see all of but we want to know, I want to know how it is to, really the nuts and bolts of it.
It's tough. It's really challenging, and I'm experiencing this firsthand, and it's just so happened that I have a very, very good support system. And I'm not just talking about my family, I'm talking about the community that I built since I opened Bench, which is super duper important. And then, just accepting the fact I came from retail, and I managed, a few locations when I was doing that back in the day. And, you go through staffing and recruiting, and you go through the bad apples, and you got to thin the herd. And with me, since we have such a really small space, I have a small group of team with me that are willing to kind of cross-navigate multiple roles within this space. So, when I said I'm a working owner, I can step in behind the bar, or I can step in plating this food for you, and I can manage the social media. So I'm able to cut costs.
On our first stop on our journey through Union Market, we are stopping at Faux Wheel. Faux Wheel has landed at Union Market. There are going to be some wonderful, wonderful food that he has for us today. It's a family-owned business, and we're going to start with Twan. Twan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and having some food. It all looks amazing. Tell us a little bit how you guys started.
So Faux Wheel started with my business partner, WHUT. He opened a business up in 2012. I was one of the few followers. He had like 200 followers, but it came across my Instagram feed, and I was like, whoa.
We are on to our next stop here in Union Market, the famous pudding. And we're going to be talking with our friend Toyin, owner and chef. How are you, my sweet?
I'm wonderful.
Well, thank you for having, look at all of this. This is what I love about these shows when we're doing food. It's all of this wonderful layout. So listen, tell me a little bit about, we met some time ago and I got a chance to taste some of your delicious pudding, but I didn't know that you had all of these other delicacies. So tell us how this all started and what is the concept of it?
Yeah, so I started in 2010 as an Eastern Market food vendor.
Okay.
So popping up with the tent, with my pots, all of that good stuff, and slowly kind of made my way to food trucks and then to beautiful Union Market. So here we are, yeah.
Okay. We are now at District Candle Lab with Farazan. Thank you for having us. You're the owner here. This is a beautiful space. Tell us a little bit about how it all started, but first we want to talk about that this is not what you started to do in life. Tell us what you used to do.
Right. So I was born and raised in Istanbul, Turkey. I moved to the States 20 years ago for graduate school. I'm a space physicist. I worked at NASA for about 10 years, being an instrument project manager on various spacecraft missions. But I wanted to follow my passion and own my own business. And I started Olive and Loom. That's out of Kensington, Maryland. It's a home and gift shop.
Okay. Tell us about this fabulous space. Now, I grew up around albums and LPs and all of that and speakers and stuff like that. And it's so good to see that this is here in the District of Columbia. So tell us the concept and how you landed here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for doing this. You know, and we get that story, you know, a lot with a smile on people's faces.
Old people? Yeah.
Like well, all types of people, but people that grew up with vinyl and physical music and recorded music and things that you can touch and things that look cool and things that sound good. So, you know, we get to see that sort of moment of joy and smiles on people's faces. We opened Birdland Records here in the Union Market neighborhood in 2020, actually. But it's an outgrowth of Songbird Music House, which started in Adams Morgan in 2015.
What made you decide to open a dog store?
Way back in the early 2000s, I was working in an office and 9/11 happened. And I was right downtown, right off of Union Station. We were, you know, close to the mall and right sort of in the center of some of the action. And it really changed the way that I was looking at my life. And I really went home and was like, I need to do something that's important, that I love, that I'm passionate about. And that's how I started. I just wanted to spend more time with my dogs and around people that had dogs. And
we came to a really, really wonderful part of this tour of Reds. Thank you. You're the owner, Wendy Reds. And I am so fascinated, one, with the store and your background, and that, you know, in the fashion game, that you were the owner of Up Against the Wall?
Up Against the Wall and Commander Salamander.
Wow, tell me about that.
Well, let's see, my husband started that years ago. Oh my God, in late 60s, like the very last part you could be in the 60s. And he and his partner started a store, and it was very successful. It was on M Street. The rent was $175 a month. $175 a month.
Wow.
Okay. And it was right on M Street, right near the corner of Wisconsin and M. And I was a teacher at the time. And one day I came home from work and I said, you know what? I quit my job today. I'm not going to be a teacher next year. I'm going to be the buyer, the women's buyer for Up Against the Wall. My husband said, what, are you crazy? I said, no, I'm going to do it. We're going to have women's clothes. And back then there was a lot of unisex clothes and not so much women's, but more men's, you know. And that was sort of the start of the journey.
Of Neighborhood Favorites on February 3rd, 2025 at 9 p.m. on WHUT, Channel 32, and PBS Passport. Mark your calendars and tune in to Neighborhood Favorites, where every neighborhood has a story to tell. February 3rd, 9 p.m., WHUT, Channel 32, and PBS Passport. See you there.